Colton RV creates fantastic memories that will change your life forever. Have you dreamed of getting into glamping in your own RV? Colton RV can help you take that step into the future with a new or used RV. Talk with a Colton RV team member online, by phone, or in person and see hundreds of RVs, from tent trailers to motorhomes and everything in between. It's all about great selection, unequaled service, and low prices. Open late at 2 convenient locations, one in Tonawanda and one in Orchard Park, New York. Now is the time to see the future at Colton RV.
Want to take your camping to the next level? Then why not try glamping? Welcome to RV Glamping Adventures, where you can have a little glamour with your travel adventures. Please join your hosts, Neal and Kathy, as they share RV glamping information, RV park reviews, product recommendations, and so much more. Here's Neal and Kathy.
Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of RV Glamping Adventures with Neal and Kathy. I'm Neal.
And I'm Kathy.
And we're just weeks away from the beginning of our RV season. Our first trip's coming. So excited.
It's so early this year,
It is, I know.
Which was a little nerve-wracking for me at first because we get snow where we're from, up here in the Northeast. And we were a little, Easter break's early this year, so we're going to be going away, about a month earlier than we're used to kicking off the season. So I was a little worried about snow, but
well, based on last year, though, it was freezing. Thank goodness for
El Nino.
Last year was awful weather. Yeah,
it was awful. So I think, knock wood, I have to hit my head on that one. I think that this year we're going to be okay because we're going to be driving down south. So there's a lot of area to cover in between there that any kind of blizzardy snowstorm could hit across, but I don't know.
Fingers crossed.
Thanks to global warming or whatever is causing it, we're having us here in our area, I know not everybody is, we're having a great winter here. So we thought it'd be fun to share with you guys what that process, because it's a process.
It's a big process.
It's a kickoff trip.
A lot goes into it.
It's been winterized, it's been in storage. Yeah. We have a lot to do, and so with the weeks ahead of us, we've got things to do.
Yeah, we've been really smart this year as opposed to other years. We've gone out there. We learned. And last year we had an experience with mice. We hopefully didn't have that again. We had it in storage, and we didn't check on it because a couple of reasons. Number one, it was minus 20 and freezing. Number two, there was a lot of snow to get to it. Number three, I think we just were not really on top of it. So we didn't check it out. And when we went to check out the RV, we had issues with mice.
We also had issues with the battery. So
we had a huge issue with that.
We did pretty much almost everything wrong you could do putting it in storage in a really cold winter. And, we have learned from our mistakes.
We learned it was a costly mistake, at least on the battery end. That was expensive.
Yeah, we had to, because of the extreme cold temperatures, we don't normally take the batteries out in the winter. We've never had a problem, where we are. So we just check on them. It's on a trickle charger, and
it's all good.
All good, but not last year. So we've taken the batteries out, and we keep them stored inside here. And that was one issue. And part two was
the mice.
We had a little visitor or two.
Or a couple. But we
learned.
We've learned. We remedied that. We've gone out and we've checked it. I hope, yeah.
Yeah, about once a month we've been
checking it out. So far, so good.
So far, so good. But now we're ready for real. Like we're going to get out there, check on it. I think at least one more time before we actually go get it. But every time, pretty much, we've been doing like a walk around. We check the tires and all that kind of thing. So what would you say, Neal, is like, okay, we're getting ready to go in a few weeks. We're going to go pick up the RV. What is for you? Because sometimes you and I have different priorities on this. Yeah. What is your priority when just like we go pick it up? What's your first thing you like to do?
I go when we get there. It's in storage, and thankfully we have a very nice place we keep it. It's outdoors, but it's under lock and key basically. It's a very nice gravel level and security system around it, so it's in a really nice place. First thing we do, visually inspect it. Look for anything like cracks in the windows, the tires, make sure they're good. You want to make sure that none of the plastic or molding, anything you can see visually, any problems. If there's something maybe hit it, you want to make sure that we're safe.
Right.
That's number one. And then after that, I like to install the batteries.
Well, we're not going to get very far now without the batteries.
You need the batteries.
So, yeah, you're going to be doing that. Now your plan, obviously, we can't go anywhere without the actual engine battery.
Right.
But you were thinking this year, now we need to explain to you guys that we used to do our own dewinterizing.
Oh, yeah.
So obviously that's the next step here we're going to talk about. We used to do it ourselves. We had a Class C. We felt really comfortable doing it ourselves.
Winterizing and dewinterizing was pretty simple.
Yeah, that was something we used to take care of. But ever since we got into the Class A model that we've been in, we get it done, and there's a few reasons why. But first and foremost, I guess before I even get into that, you want to wait to put the house batteries in and give it to them to do it properly.
Yeah, the coach we have now has an inverter system. There's a couple different wires that I don't want to mess anything up. So, I could
think
probably
everybody
do it.
needs to know their limits.
This is
we don't
mine.
want to have any more costly mistakes with anything. Yeah. So that was just something you just are personally.
I'm just personally we'll put the batteries in the coach, and then they can connect them and install them for us. So
right.
I'm going to let them do that and feel pretty good about that part of it. And then the other part of it, the dewinterizing, since we have the unit that we have now, we have a full-size refrigerator with a water filter and a whole house water filter as well. And years ago, we didn't have those in the Class C. So when we take it to them, they'll take care of that too.
Yeah, but this is where the whole conversation of, and it's become more of a conversation for Neal and I as we've been getting older, is a checklist. Like there are so
huge.
many things, and we're going to talk about that through this all these steps that we take to get ready to go. It probably, to some people who don't RV, after they hear all that we have to do, the steps involved, they're
it's
probably
like I don't want to do this.
That sounds too complicated, but it really isn't.
Really
It's just like for us at this point, it's second nature. But I do feel like it because of where we're at.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it's because we have so much going on. We're just so busy.
We need a checklist. Busy lives.
It's not because we're so forgetful now. Like when you go in the grocery store for one thing and you leave with 50
How many times does that happen?
And you forget what you went for.
That happens all the time.
So we're getting a little bit more into like writing things down and getting a checklist going. So we'll get into a little bit more as we go. But that's the thing. So you're going to get the engine battery in. We're going to take it over to Colton RV. Now we're getting a few things done this year. You want to talk about?
Yeah,
what we're doing.
Typically, what we do is when we start the opening process is they'll do the batteries, like we said. We'll have the oil changed. I have the tires checked out and make sure that they're all balanced and everything's good with the tires, the tire pressure, and then they do
the whole dewinterizing,
change the filters,
most
everything.
Dealers that have the service and everything right there, they have packages and specials. So we ask about that and try to get a few things.
That's a really good thing.
But this year we're getting that done. We have the inspection done. Yep. We get the generator inspected.
I get the wiper blades changed.
Everything.
Yeah,
for us, it's about not that you can avoid things happening on the road, but we want it to be. Hey, we can sleep at night knowing we did everything we need to do to make sure everything's in working order and there's no dumb accident.
Yeah,
accidents are usually dumb, and hopefully we get through another season safely and all that stuff. So whatever we can do to make that happen is important to us. But Neal's tacking on one extra thing this year because we're in a condo.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this one. Well, actually, and I'm sad too. One of the biggest joys I've had since we've been motorhoming and doing everything that we do is cleaning the RV. And it's geeky.
It's totally
I don't understand it.
For Neal.
It's like 6 hours where I'm just out there washing the motorhome, and
it's like methodical.
You clean the bugs off. It's you have this dirty, beginning and a very clean end, and I like the process in between.
Is it like a OCD completion?
It's crazy, yeah.
And the thing I don't get is we cleaned it before we put it in storage.
Yeah, well,
so other than I could see a good
it's
clean.
It's been sitting there.
Yeah,
it needs to be washed.
It looks exactly like how it looked when we left it there, to be honest with you.
So this year we've upgraded. There's a detail package on the outside that they have that I found to be not really that expensive, and they're going to wash the whole outside and detail the outside of the motorhome for us.
Yeah, and that's mostly, 100% why we're doing that is we just don't have the space to do that.
Yeah, we can't do that in the
condo complex that we're at. We have a place that we can do our stocking up and loading up and all that, but there's just no water accessibility. No. You can get dry cleaners and things like that, but like for the size model, that would be insane.
No.
So,
and I think they do the roof, they do they clean everything.
Yeah, they do the whole thing, and they'll do an inspection as well. So I feel like we're going to be double, triple checked. But it's also like this is an investment. This unit, your RV, your motorhome. You got to keep it nice. I've seen some people that they're still, and they're still driving it around, but they've let the some of the body paint go, and it's, it's obvious when they drive by. To me, I want to keep it in because we're going to get another one.
Oh, totally, someday. But I like the feeling when we go into a campground or something, and people go, "Oh, that's shiny." It sounds so stupid, but I've had people walk up to me and say, "Wow, that is really clean." I'm like, "Yeah, thank you."
Well, we like to keep the things we have nice. There's value to it, but it's also keeping the value up. I was going to make that point before.
And when we've gone to trade, it's been
when we want to get into the next model, and we think it'll be our last final model because we're going to make that work. And we're going to be picking out the perfect thing for us.
Oh, it's going to be great
when that time comes. But you got to keep your model that you're driving now in tip-top shape. I think also to, if your plan is you want to keep it in good shape just because it's something you love and care for, but maybe you're going to trade it in someday. You got to take care of things so it holds better value and all that. So when you go to trade in, you get more money back.
These are not cheap items, and everything devalues with time. But if you can prevent some of it devaluing with
it's really important.
Quality, I guess. I don't know what you call it, but wear and tear.
Yeah, it's our big toy, and we've taught our kids to take care of their things. So that's what we do.
So we're gonna get it cleaned.
Yeah. So Colton's gonna take care of a lot of that stuff for us. But once that's done, we're gonna get everything checked. Generator,
and the thing is, we've been very lucky dealing with Colton. I'm gonna name drop here, but they've been really good with their service department. They're tip top when it comes to helping us out with things. And
we have trust with them. So that's something I want to say too, is you make sure you have trust with whatever service department. Absolutely. If you don't, you need to talk with someone about it and try to rectify that, or go elsewhere and find, maybe you've got some friends or somebody they would recommend. We're always about word of mouth. So
absolutely. Yeah.
That's how you're going to find your best thing. So that we have that relationship that we could call, text, whatever. And even before us doing a radio show and
they've always
had a good relationship.
Great customer service.
We've had good relationships with them, so we trust what they say.
Exactly.
So we're going to do that, get all that taken care of.
And then
almost kind of last minute for us. We're doing it days before we leave.
It's really weird because usually we do it 2 weeks before. It would come home to the driveway, and then I could just clean it and do all that stuff and slowly load it up. But now where we are, we can't do that.
No, we only can really keep it in the space we have to load it up for
a day.
So we're going to finish up at Colton and bring it over to our house and just load it up. So there's there's a lot.
And my OCD makes me also clean the inside, which I can't help.
And I appreciate that because
and you do too. I mean, it's not like I do it alone.
Yeah, but you take it to that. Now I'm thinking this year's going to be even worse because you're going to take out on the inside what you didn't go and do on the outside.
I've got energy.
But it's important again that you're taking care of things and making sure everything's looking nice for the trip. That's important to us, the whole...
And I find, though, too, for me, when I'm doing that kind of stuff, whether it's cleaning the outside or cleaning the inside, that I find things, like maybe a piece of molding didn't hold up and the glue didn't stick well. You can reattach it. Little things like that you find...
And warranty stuff. Like, forget, the outside is one thing. Make sure we always have a really good warranty plan inside and out so that we can make sure before we go... if there's something major, we'll get it fixed. If not, we're scheduling for when we come back to make sure that, that tile gets fixed or the piece of upholstery that's coming out. We have that coverage too.
Yeah.
Because I don't mind paying per month. I don't want to have to go pay, here's a couple of grand.
No,
that's a personal choice.
Oh, some people I know that are like, you know what, we're just not going to do the warranty. It's a waste of money, and
I'll save some money.
I'll just pay it when it comes up, when the problem. And for us, I don't like that either.
Well, we know we won't save the money. We'll just spend it on a trip or something.
Yeah.
So now the big process for us is and this is where checklists really come into for so many aspects of this. But, now we're doing okay, now we're getting ready to go. And for me, that first trip is, it's one thing when you're about ready to go on a trip within the season. But we like to get our RV to a point where we just have to, from then on, for that season, load up food and clothing. So we get it to a point where everything's in there. Yeah. And it stays there until the fall when we get ready to winterize again.
Yeah.
So it's just one less thing. Well, it's a lot of less things that we have to load up every time. Yeah. So how would you say? We just get it so it's almost just trip ready.
Yeah, it's totally trip ready. And then all you have to do is go and basically set it up.
Food, like I said, food and clothes. So getting it ready. What I did, I remember last year what I do is I get a stockpile going right around now. And I'm not talking extreme couponing stockpile.
No, it's not that, but it's close. You have a lot of everything we need.
But I'll start usually in January, and I'm seeing when I put a picture of my little stockpile on last year, and people I said, who else does this? Like, am I the only type A?
How many people said
person?
they did this? A ton.
So many, like, oh my God, yeah. So when I'm shopping or whatever for us right now, I'm also grab an extra this, grab an extra that. I'm talking lotion, shampoo, toothpaste, toothbrushes, batteries, those little clicker fire starters, anything like that that we will need throughout the season, and I kind of stockpile it up. I get a whole thing going until we get the RV here, and it's like we get all the forces in, all the kids in, and we just take it all out. So and dry goods.
A lot of dry goods.
Some things I leave within, again with the food stuff, obviously perishables, that's per trip.
No, but even like, we have a couple containers like where you could keep things where, God forbid anything got in, we're still safe. Yeah. But I still think we always empty it at the end of a trip. We always take all the food out.
Yeah. To me, there's and we always put it back in the place in between. We don't leave it here or at our home. We take it back to the storage unit or area, whatever, and that's where we have to leave it. So we still have to think about rodents and things like, we're going and picking up constantly. Like, I don't think even anything has a chance. No. I don't want to give anything a chance to come in and go, ooh, look, a fully stocked fridge. Thank you.
It's
so
like a meal.
Or cupboards, I should say. Yeah. So there's some things we won't leave in there. But as far as like, staples, it's there.
But just something that we've learned too is after every trip, obviously we wash our bedding and all that stuff. We did get the storage bag, the Ziploc storage bag.
Yeah, those were really great. The kind that you put it in
and suck the air out.
Yeah, you suck the air. It's got the vacuum seal. That's just something we use in between during the winter, whatever.
Put a couple of fabric softeners in there for nice smell, and then when we're ready, we'll just go make the bed because everything's nice and clean and stored. So that's kind of nice.
Right. So really what we're looking at here now to discuss with you guys is like you can very easily get on if you don't have your own checklist, Google RV checklist.
Oh, there's so many.
There's a gazillion of them. I'm going to come up with one on my blog just as we're doing it. I'm going to stop using other people's, come up with my own and what's individual for our needs. But you know what you need, and it depends the kind of model you have and all that. But you'll check once we bring it home, you're making sure underneath.
Yeah, I'll go through
together and good.
I'll go through, make sure that everything's secure, number one. But also, I'll go through, make sure I have all my tools in the right place, all my hoses.
Tools? Why don't you talk about that?
I've got a really
because we've learned from mistakes.
Well, years ago, we had an issue, and I didn't have any tools. All I had was a Phillips screwdriver and a butter knife, and that was awful. And
MacGyver, that was pretty good.
I did it.
We did a lot.
We did it. We got it.
But it worked.
It was dumb, and it was just, I think I cut myself in the middle of it, so it was awful. But now I have a nice Craftsman toolbox that's like collapsible, ratchet set, screwdrivers, hammers, everything.
Was this like a birthday present?
Yeah, you got me that for my birthday.
Because Neal has a tool set for the house, and he would say, I'll just use this. Why buy more that can go back and forth? And why we actually had to deal with what we did. We forgot to pack it. Yeah. So it's just, again, one less thing in our busy, busy minds that we have to think about. So you got a pretty... I think someone loves you.
Somebody loves me. I've got a pretty sweet tool chest. I've also got a couple ratchet sets. I've got... I checked the pressure valve for the hose to attach. There's that... What's that thing called? It makes sure that you don't blow out your pipes when you hook up your hose. It's like a little pressure gage that we use. I make sure that that's in working order. I check out all of our hoses.
You're looking at me like
I
know. I'm like,
I know. You're like, what's going on?
I don't mean to be a pink and blue thing, but I think that's kind of your thing.
I check out all of the extension cords, make sure we have that. I check out the ladders. I check out there's so many things. I just go underneath, and I've got everything in storage, and it's pretty organized. And I just want to make sure that, at the end of the season, you're finishing up. Things just get thrown in. So I kind of clean everything out and organize it up, and that way we can begin the season.
You've also been checking out, the other thing too, going back to inspecting things like, the hose, that we've got a couple hoses, different sizes, the gauges and all that, just making sure all that's working.
Yeah,
the sewer hose,
yeah,
all that stuff. I know you're checking it out, making sure it made it through the winter, no cracks. Lord knows you don't need a crack in the sewer hose on your first trip.
No. One thing I did, I might be going out of order here, but one thing I make sure that while I'm checking out underneath and make sure all the tools are where they should be, I also go underneath the sinks inside and tighten up the drains.
That happened to us before.
So we were on a trip and then washing dishes and then the drain.
Actually, it was probably from the de-winterizing or something in there, and it maybe
just rattled and loosened up.
And honestly, that's something you need to do.
It's the P-trap. It's just you just tighten the P-trap by hand, and then you're safe.
One trip we were, all of a sudden there was this water leak near the sink.
Out.
We're like, oh my God, because we don't just, why be calm when you can just go from
0
to 100 and go, everything is broken.
Yeah, the sky's falling.
And it was simply, the P-trap hadn't been.
It was still messy though.
And again, you should learn from these things.
Yeah.
It would be nice to know ahead of time, and that's why we say learn from our stupid mistakes.
Yep.
But had that not ever happened, why would you check that? I wouldn't think to check that.
I don't know.
And you're moving, this thing's moving constantly.
It's always
things come loose.
vibrating and jiggling, so
So, and we also take a look at the chairs, just making,
just the quality,
outside
make sure,
stuff. Is everything looking good?
Honestly, this year I know we've got to replace a couple of the outside chairs because the arms broke.
Yeah.
So, so stupid stuff, but we'll check all that out and we'll know.
Make a little list, another list for the list.
Lists are great.
So inside that,
inside,
we share
what do you
that. Do? Well, I'll start right now. What I'm doing is getting the first aid kit together. I've had that going since, that wasn't something we did not have. I just knew, I think when we first bought it, one of the things it says in any manual, whatever, make sure you have a first aid kit. Like, I know there's stores wherever you go, but it's really nice to have it right there. It saves money.
Yeah, it's time, too.
And again, we've had so many different things happen since we started RVing that I've learned to get pretty much one of everything.
Yeah.
So the kinds of things I fill it up with, and again, you can look at this stuff on Good Sam has a really great one on their blog page of like list of what to get. So every year I'll just sort of take out, and it also makes me I get out the home one and the RV one and go, what's the expiration dates? Look at what I have. Obviously I try to use whatever I had from the year before, but the stuff expires, and
you got it.
I think you can use things a little past the expiration date, but
a couple months, maybe a couple years, not so much.
I get everything from those bandages, like the ACE bandages, antacids. I get any kind of cream, itch cream, antibiotic creams, whatever, something for everybody.
Burn
cream. That burn jelly cream that came in handy once when I did something stupid. I don't want to talk about that.
Nope.
Antihistamines, cold medication, the day stuff, the night stuff, eye drops, hot cold packs. We have a muscle, like a topical
Biofreeze.
Biofreeze is our favorite. We have that. Poison oak, ivy cream, Q-tips, safety pins. I even put in there, for whatever reason, I put in there a little sewing kit.
Yeah.
You can buy tweezers, thermometer, all that kind of stuff. So, and then I'll get my list out and get stuff for home and the RV.
Yeah.
So I'm on point with that, and everything's not expiring. Just all sorts of any kind of wash, that antibacterial washes, just everything.
Well,
and all different sides of Band-Aids.
I mean, the big thing with being first aid is to be, it's be prepared.
Yeah.
And so it's really, really hard. Like, we had an issue one time where Olivia hit her hand in the door of the motorhome. She closed her own fingers, and we had to go running around looking for ice. Well, now we have ice packs. We have everything that we need in there as well. Yeah. So we've learned from mistakes.
And think about your medication, before you go, make sure you're getting your prescriptions filled, like those kinds of things. Now, as for the inside, what I'm stocking up on right now, beyond the first aid kit, I'll always buy a couple things of body lotion. I get my shampoo, conditioner stockpiled, soap, even antibacterial lotion. We have a lot of lotions.
There's a
all
ton
different
of lotions.
kinds of lotions.
Lots of lotions. But there's a lot of people that travel with us.
Yeah, I mentioned the Q-tips. For ladies, you want to talk about feminine hygiene products. You want to be ready for anything.
And guys, cologne. So
I like, hair products and whatnot, and I have a brand I like, so I load up on that for home and here and the RV, so that's all set.
Yep.
Because you're out on the road and you can get there's stores out there. There are.
There's always a store.
My mom always says to me, you can go buy things.
Yeah,
but there's certain things you like that, again, is bringing your creature comforts from home. Yep. So that's not a necessity for some.
No, but I think
it's
like,
it is.
That is the hallmark of glamping, is to have the things you like.
Yeah.
So why not be prepared and buy them ahead of time?
Right. So, and we've got all new sheets, towels. I'm making sure those are all in good shape. But, maybe it's time for new towels. So I get those kinds of things. I load up on detergent because we do a lot of laundry, softener sheets. That brings into mind what we also started doing was we will, over the winter, save tons of quarters.
Oh, that's great.
And those are becoming a little bit obsolete in some of the RV parks we went to, but those kinds of things. Neal mentioned.
For the laundry, you mean?
So we can keep up on the laundry, because Lord knows there's lots of that.
Oh, that's a lot.
I make sure all the kitchenware is all set. Again, checking that out. Do I need new dish towels and blah, blah, blah. How's the, dog bowl? All like the measuring spoons. Are they still in good order? And the rest of the kinds of things I'll buy as it goes. I do stock up on the dry goods.
Yeah.
But that I will replenish.
I find like for the food, we buy what we need before we go on a trip, basically.
Yeah.
That's trip specific.
I would say, make sure you're getting out there and Googling, the other thing too is making sure we have the dog's records for shots. Those, any little detail, think about it.
It's crazy how much goes into it.
Yeah, you don't have to think about it in the right. I even get my own makeup stuff. So I don't have to have that go back and forth. So like, oh darn, I forgot this. Again, not necessities, but they're things I like to bring. So
and you're bringing your house with you, so you make sure you have everything you need.
And enough deodorant. Like everybody has obviously their own deodorants and body washes. Everybody has the particular things they like. So I just make sure we have extra of those. So I don't have to think about it.
Nope.
And every trip then, from then on, then we're like sort of good to go and ready. I might be glamping it up as far as new stickers on the wall, like those removable decals, that kind of thing. So get out there, check out what's on, Google it, see RV checklists. This is just what we do. Everybody's a little bit different.
So this is what we do. So we'd love to hear from you guys. Please send us an email at rvglampingadventures@gmail.com, or else also check us out on Facebook,
just
iTunes,
even message
YouTube,
us.
anything
Love to
you
hear
can do.
from you. What's your thing? What do you do?
Absolutely.
Drop us a line and have a great week.
Fishing, hunting, boating, and the rest of the great outdoors 24/7, 365 on Reno Viola Outdoors Radio. Download the free Reno Viola's Outdoor Radio app or visit WRVORadio.com online.